This is TWiT.
You know what I lost? At least
Wait.
I'm hoping to lose 40 pounds of ugly fat.
It's not ugly. It's you. No part of you is ugly, Leo.
You don't know. You just don't know.
So I don't want to. You don't need to confirm that.
You know, you talked about LifeSum, kind of a calorie tracker. We've talked about Lose It. I found a really cool one. This is really designed to track carbs, but it could track calories. It could track all sorts of things. Yeah, it looks good. Okay. So I haven't done my daily log yet, but I could show you yesterday's log. It'll show you, it's called Carb Manager, and it focuses on carbs, and it's particularly for people on low-carb diets. But you could use it for anything else. For instance, it's recommended the low-carb diet I wanted to go on, that I have no more than 26 grams of net carbs. I had 70, so there's a big red bar there. It shows how much protein, that's blue. Actually, this is kind of a normal. This is how much fat. It was almost half fat. But this is kind of a normal bar chart. But if you were trying to get rid of carbs, it makes it very easy to add stuff. So let's go back to today and add a couple of things. There's certain things that I have every single day. It has a scanner, but it also has voice entry. Now, for that, you have to pay a yearly $40. That's the fee. So it's free, but additional features if you pay. I can have some foods that I do all the time. You can scan barcodes if you have foods that have a barcode. That's very handy. You can also snap foods. They have an advisor on here recommending macros. So if you're on a keto diet, for instance, you'll have your recommended macros, and these are things that it would tell you could eat. So that's a fine foods thing. It also allows you to put exercise in. And it works with Apple's Health. So if, as I do, as you know, used Apple Health, you could have, actually, if I go back, I think if I go to my exercise log from yesterday, oh no, I haven't entered it in yet. You can have your own custom things. You can have quick entry. And I love this, natural language. And so you can speak to it and say something like, I ran 3.5 miles. I did 40 minutes of yoga, and it would submit that in there. You can also keep track of weight, but other measurements as well, because you may be tracking, if you're diabetic, your insulin or your glucose. If you're trying to go into ketosis, you might be tracking your ketones, your cholesterol, your blood pressure. I'm going on a diet that's going to require me to track a lot of those, and that's very handy. It has a community around it, too. It looks like I gained 48 pounds. That, I just want to say, is not true. I have to fix that. And then it shows you your lunch. It does have this is just a PDF, a diet plan if you want to do a keto diet. But it also allows you to add recipes. It has some recipes in it. I think this is the most complete diet tracker I've ever seen. I've used a lot of different ones, and this was really great. It also shows macronutrients, which is really fantastic. Things like, vitamin C or zinc, that kind of thing. Really a fantastic program. And I think the free version is actually very, very good. Oh, I see why it thinks I lost all that weight. It took my starting weight as 180 pounds.
Those were the days.
Carb Manager, it's specifically for people who want to do keto diets, which are very popular these days. In fact, it is something I'm going to be doing soon. Don't yell at me. You can also track your water, your steps, and a lot more. Really a cool program, and I love the graphs. I think that's a great way of quickly getting a sense of how you're doing. Really well thought out. There is a iOS version, but there's also a web interface and an Android version too, so you can put it on all your devices. The big database of foods, including, I was able to enter in all my vitamins because I want to track those as well, and I could barcode the vitamins, and they all went in, which was really great. So makes it a lot easier for you to see what's going on. My
Carb Manager.
There's no my, so just I was just going to add something. My app cap of the day is Carb Manager. There's no my.
I downloaded it. I'm gonna try it.
LifeSum is great. A little more expensive. Lose It is free.
Weight Watchers is the one I've been doing.
Weight Watchers, of course, if you're on Weight Watchers, you should use the WW app, obviously. But I'm doing this doctor supervised. Someday I'll tell you the story. Nobody wants to hear it, but thing. And one of the things I need to do is track this stuff very closely. And so I looked at a bunch of different apps to see which one's the best. And I thought this was absolutely the best. I was very impressed by it. Carb Manager, my app cap for the day.
Oh, somebody.
No pie, unless you make it with Parmesan cheese crust.
Oh.
That's good.
Parmesan cheese is part.
It's keto.
Oh.
No carbs in parm. Last night we made Wiener Schnitzel.
Oh.
And for the kid, I made it with breadcrumbs. But for Lisa and me, I used Parmesan ground up, finely ground Parmesan. It was delicious. Different, but it was good.
So you're not fasting anymore then?
I'm going to mix the two together just to drive Dr. Mom crazy.
Okay. Sounds good.